thank you for being here today for this service to honor our fallen heroes who sacrificed their life in service of our great nation while defending its liberty. I'm honored to have been asked to pay tribute to our nation's greatest heroes. I have no illusions, but there are no words that I can say that pay adequate and sufficient for so many brave and courageous warriors who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Please know, when I speak of soldiers, I'm speaking of all members of our armed forces. I'm speaking of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and members of our nation's Coast Guard. And please know, when I speak of men, I'm speaking in the plural sense of women too, for they've died alongside our men and given their lives so others would live. We're going to briefly touch on Memorial Day, how it came about and what it means. Then several of our brave and courageous troops who died for our freedom. And in closing, we'll cover the real meaning of Memorial Day and those it affects most. What we know and observe as Memorial Day was previously called Decoration Day. It got this name from Southern women who decorated the graves of Confederate soldiers killed in action. This went on throughout, during, and after the Civil War by these women. After a few years, this practice caught on and was followed in the North. On the 5th day of May of 1868, General John A. Logan, a soldier who served in the Mexican-American War and as a general in the Union Army in the Civil War, issued a proclamation calling for Decoration Day to be observed annually and nationwide. The holiday is now observed the last Monday in May. And General Logan was also a politician, by the way. After the war, General Logan continued as a member of the House of Representatives, and from there went on to the U.S. Senate. He was the second commander-in-chief of the Grand Army of the Republic from 1868 to 1871, and he helped lead the call for creation of Memorial Day as a national public holiday. First, I want to talk about Private Martin A. Treptow. I learned about him during the early 80s as a member of our nation's Air Force. I remember watching on television a Memorial Day service where President Reagan, our commander-in-chief, spoke of him and spoke of a soldier's pledge. Private Martin A. Treptow lived in a small town working as a barber. He enlisted in the Iowa Army National Guard. Private Treptow served in France on the Western Front during the First World War. In 1917, he was killed while carrying messages between battalions while under heavy artillery fire. A diary was found in his blood-soaked coat. On his body carried a diary with a pledge. It was his pledge, his words. He titled it My Pledge. This isn't something he copied off of a blackboard. This isn't something he was told to do or read out of a book. This is something that he did, his own words. And you'll see the commitment and dedication when I read it. I'm going to read my pledge, Private Treptow's pledge, word for word, verbatim. America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure, I will fight cheerfully, and do my utmost if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. Think of the commitment that he wrote it down. This isn't something they left with his personal effects in his foot locker or wall locker in the barracks. This is something that he carried on his person and he had on him when he died in combat. The next member who was killed in action was Airman First Class Elizabeth M. Jacobson. He was killed when an improvised explosive device detonated near a convoy vehicle while providing convoy security support near Camp Boca, Iraq. This happened on Wednesday, 28th day of September 2005. She was the first Air Force Security Forces member killed in conflict since Vietnam. A1C Jacobson was also the first U.S. airman killed in the line of duty in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, which was from 2003 through 2005. She had served with the 17th Security Forces Squadron. A1C Jacobson was highly regarded, respected, well-liked by her peers. She worked very hard to get on the Convoy Escort section to try to tell you how dangerous it was. I think most of us, if not all of us, have heard of people being killed by improvised explosive devices in vehicles. In fact, the Pentagon redesigned them more than once to try to make them safer and more secure for our troops. Being with the Convoy Escort section was additionally risky. She'd only been working on a couple weeks when this incident occurred. That's how dangerous it was. Elizabeth was only 21 years of age. She had resided in Rivera Beach, Florida, graduated from Gold Coast High School, and also belonged in a playhouse where she won a contest for writing poetry. Family and friends knew that she had spoken of wanting to get married after she left and completed her service to our nation and have children. My next member I want to talk about is John Harlan Willis. He was born in Columbia, Tennessee, where he attended and graduated from Columbia High School. He enlisted in our nation's Navy on the 5th day of November 1940. He participated in the Battle of Iwo Jima as a rifle company platoon corpsman. A corpsman is what many of us think of as a medic in the Army, or in civilian life as a paramedic. Leading many fallen Marines during fierce combat, he was wounded by shrapnel and ordered back to a battle aid station. Disregarding his injuries, pharmacist mate First Class Willis returned to the battle area to treat wounded Marines. He daringly advanced on the front lines under heavy mortar and sniper fire. While under fire, he continued to administer blood plasma to his wounded patient. Can you imagine trying to fight to keep a patient alive and administering blood plasma and be coming under fire? The enemy advanced and attacked his position with hand grenades. After throwing 8 grenades back, the enemy was killed when the 9th grenade exploded in his hand. He was awarded the Medal of Honor after his death. Lance Corporal Kenneth L. Worley was born in Farmington, New Mexico in 1948. After being an orphan at an early age, he moved to Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Yes, there really is a city named Truth or Consequences. I checked that out. The city chose to rename itself after the radio show with that name. He left Hot Springs High School early to move to the Modesto, California area to live with his aunt at 16. He took a job as a truck driver hauling and delivering Christmas trees out of the mountains. After injuring his foot at work, he was taken in by a couple, Dan and Rose Fryerham of Modesto, treated Kenneth like a son and became his foster parents. Shortly after finding a new family, Worley decided to serve his country and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1967. Joining the Marines, Lance Corporal Kenneth L. Worley was deployed to the Republic of Vietnam early in 1968. While setting up a position in a hamlet, an enemy grenade was thrown into the house where Worley was stationed. He instantly threw himself on the grenade that landed by 5 of his comrades, absorbing the full and tremendous impact of the explosion and saving the lives of his 5 fellow Marines. Lance Corporal Worley was killed in action on the 12th day of August, 1968. He gave his life so others would live. He was also awarded the Medal of Honor after death. You think about it, running up a hill to take out a machine gun nest. I think there's always some chance, even no matter how slim it is, maybe 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000. There's some chance that you might make it under machine gun fire and take out that nest, that fortified nest. But throwing yourself on a grenade, there's no chance. In fact, I did some research to see if anyone's ever survived throwing themselves on a grenade. And yes, I came across another Lance Corporal Marine, Kyle Carpenter, on November 21st, 2010, in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Kyle Carpenter threw himself on a grenade that landed on a rooftop while he was there to save the life of a fellow Marine while sustaining vast injuries to his face, head, right arm, and losing his right eye. However, he would survive these wounds. While he was being air-evac'd, they had to resuscitate him to revive him. And he was saying that he knew he was going to die. He just wanted to make things right with the man upstairs. But he knew that he wasn't going to live, wasn't going to make it. The Navy Corpsmen that were treating him disregarded that and continued their violent efforts to revive him. They ignored what he was saying and Carpenter's acceptance of death. That's what they're trained to do, to save lives. He sustained more than 30 wounds on his arm alone. He would spend the next 2.5 years at Waterreed Hospital undergoing more than 40 surgeries, including having shrapnel removed from his brain. He lost most of his jaw. He was left horribly disfigured, his face, without sight or a right eye. He was, Lance Corporal Carpenter was medically retired from the Marines, and God bless him. He was awarded the Medal of Honor, one to live that received it. He didn't let anything hold him back. He went on to attend college and playing soccer at the school soccer team. He was very humble about all of this. When he spoke about it, he said that he only did what thousands of other Marines would have done. I believe that it was a miracle that he survived. Someone was looking out for Kyle Carpenter that day. These troops are not only soldiers that I've spoken about. They're someone's sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers. Although they only live short lives, they will always be remembered as the courageous, strong, caring soldiers that they were. As you enjoy this holiday with family, backyard cookouts, I think it'll be a little quieter this year than previous years. Please pause and take a few moments to think of our fallen troops and their families. I will, as I'm going to be visiting the National Cemetery at Fort Indiantown Gap to pay my respects. I'll be taking 2 arrangements of flowers, 2 bouquets, one for my father's grave and one for the grave of a soldier killed in action. Sadly, I won't have to walk very far to find one. And too often when I do, I come across, I look at the dates of birth, dates of death. It's readily apparent that they were just a mere teenager when they perished. Something that will never leave me, I don't believe it will you, is seeing a young widow visiting the grave of a soldier killed in action. Even when it's just on television, if you happen to witness it. I visit the National Cemetery since my dad's been buried there quite often. She has a young son in tow with her, a young boy that couldn't be more than 4 or 5 years of age when I think of my stepson and my daughter at that age. It's a father he never knew. All he'll know about his father is what his mother tells him, other family members, friends, people he comes across in life that recall and remember his father for their kind words. It's going to take a terrible toll. It's going to be a difficult path for the young boy. While all the other kids' fathers are there for their t-ball, softball, basketball games, his dad won't be there to cheer him on. Dad won't be there for his school plays, to take him fishing, boating, scouting, other activities where we've all had our fathers there for us. Dad won't be there for daughter's graduation from high school. He won't be there to college graduation. Dad won't be there to walk her down the aisle when she marries. He won't be there for the birth of the first grandchild. Seeing that young widow at the brave warrior's grave is something I'll never forget.